we are going to discuss about the spacing, and I put the address of the class. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this. I hope you remember file, save, and when we are saving, let me put the desktop as the place to save, and then I'm going to put it as 5.html. If you remember, I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I open a desktop, now I should see there should be a HTML file we call file, right? So let me put this one side, and the other side I'm going to have the coding. Now I hope you remember we discussed this. Now if you just type something in HTML, it won't break. Although we put some enter and go to next slide, it won't show. Now for that, we have to use BR. So BR is a single line tag where it will breaks the line. So let me save again, file, save, and then if I refresh it, so this is what we will get. Now let's say I want to add some space in between here, right? So let me put like 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me save. Let me refresh. It won't change. You won't get the spacing here. Now for that, we have a special command in HTML. So if you want to have a space between words, then we have to use this, right? This small tag, or you can say HTML commands we use. This will add blank spaces, right? So N, NBSP, and semicolon, remember. Now let me put this in between. So in between Pahana and here, I'm going to say NBSP. Right? That's what we should put. NBSP and colon. Let me put 4 of them. NBSP semicolon. NBSP semicolon. NBSP semicolon. Right. Now let me save. It actually went in the next line, won't matter. Refresh it. Now you will see the space between here, right? Let me, right. So this is 4 spaces in between, right? Because of this, commands I have used NBSP 4 times. Right. So I hope now it's clear how we may put up spaces. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's look at how to put space between lines. Now we already discussed when you type it, you have to use line break. That means BR to go to the next line. Now you have to use multiple of BR to get the spacing. Okay, let's look at an example. For example, here, let me right. Now let me show you, I'm going to remove this I remove the additional spaces. I will go back to the original, save this. When I refresh it, now I'm back to start. Now I'm going to show you, let's say I want to have a space in between Pahana and then Putlam Road. Now you have to add another break. Save this, refresh it, and you will see there are space between here. One is for the line break, another line break meaning it added a new line. Now if I need like 2 spaces, I'm going to put line break 3 times. Now let me show. So now you will see this in space. So you will have 2 blank lines between Putlam Road and Nikavarat. Okay. I hope now it's clear how we may use space between lines. So you can use several line breaks. Okay, let's move on. Now let's look at how we can have horizontal lines. This is a single tag. Remember, most of the tags you have tag pairs like HTML/HTML head/head and so on. But if you take like commands like BR, HR, so those are like single tags. Okay, let me show you. Again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to remove additional breaks. And then let me, refresh. And then this will give you the starting point. Now, sometimes we want to separate out the content in web pages. Now, for that, this, HR could be used. HR means horizontal row. So let me show you, like I'm going to put HR between here. I'm going to put HR here, Control S. So this will give me a horizontal line in between. So there are properties. Now we know that how the tag behaves can be changed using different attributes. Using size, we can change the size of the row. Right? So for example, let me put size is 5. So let me start here. A new HR. Size equals 5. Let me say, refresh it. We have bigger line here. That means the height of the horizontal rule is now 5 pixels. Right? Let's move to the next one. We can set the width of the rule. We can set the width of the rule. In width, you can change the size of the rule. So let me go back. So I can say width. Like we discuss in images, we can put the width in 2 different ways. Now we can say 50%. So remember last time we discussed, if you put 50%, it means it according to the size of the window. Now for that, if I save this, refresh it, so this will be half of the screen. So then you can have a line property like earlier, a line. So with this attribute, if you say right, right? It goes to the right side of the screen. So you can change the behavior of horizontal row. Right. So likewise, we can make it the color. So we can say the color is, let me put red. So if I put color red, if I refresh this, now I can see a horizontal rule with the size is 50% of the screen, right aligned, and the color of this is red. Okay, so now I think we have discussed space between words, space between lines, and then also we discuss how to have horizontal row. Right. Okay. So let me start from the beginning. I'm going to create another file. Let me say I'm going to save it as 6.html. What I'm going to have is again I want to discuss how to center things, right? So the center command is there. I actually forgot last time to discuss this. So let me open 6.html. Right. Now, when you want to center things, there are different ways that you can do this. Now, in paragraph, we discuss alignment property we could use to say center. But let's say how you are going to make something center, right? So, for example, let me put it br here again. Let's say again I am having something. So there's a command tag called center, and this could be used to center anything. Now, for example, I can have let me save. Let me refresh this. Now you will see this text is center. Let me put an image. So I can have img src. Remember last time we used flower dot png, right? If I save this, if I refresh it, normally it'll actually left aligned. Right, let me change the size. I'm going to put as 50% of the screen. Let me again refresh this. Again, it's left aligned. So you can actually use align property to make it a center, but you can also include center tag. Right? You can put it like this to make this center. Right? So anything, if you want to, put anything in the center of the screen, you can use center, and it can be used with a text, image, and so on. Right. I hope that this is clear, right? Let me move on to the next one. So in this case, I'm going to discuss what we call lists. What we call lists. So in HTML, we can have, different types of lists available. Ordered list, they are similar to in Word, the number lists. Then unordered lists, they are similar to bulleted list. And then there are something called definition lists. So let's look at how we can have ordered list, right? So for that, we have to use two tags. One is OL tag to say that this is the beginning of the list. This is the beginning of the ordered list. And to add end, you can have /OL. And for each item, we can start with LI tag. Okay, I hope you got it. So let me show you this. So I'm going to create another page. Let me put 7.html. Let me open this. Right, I'm going to double click to open this. And then I'm going to remove everything from body. And then I'm going to create lists. Right. So if you refresh it, we won't get anything. So let me start by putting lists. So list starts with the saying OL and ends with /OL. And each item, as I told you earlier, we start with LI. So LI to represent the list item. So end with /LI. Let me refresh it. Now we see a number list, right? In HTML, we call ordered list, that one and first item. So you have to not, you don't have to number it, numbers are automatically generated. So likewise, we have LI, the second item /LI. Let me save, refresh, we have the second item. Likewise, let me put LI, the third item /LI. Yes, I'm going to refresh this. So you can actually use OL tag for ordered list, and each item inside the list we can put it with list item. Okay, so remember this, and you can change the properties, right? I will change the properties. Basically happens is we start with OL, ends with /OL, and then for each item we use list items. Now remember, depend on what you add, so it will automatically number. Now in Word, for example, you can change this. For example, you can change it to Roman numerals, or maybe you can have English letters and so on. So this is based on the property we will have in lists. Now we can have multiple values, so there's a property called type. Now in type, we can have multiple values. So you can have capital A, you can have simple A, capital L, simple I, and also 1, right? So let me start looking at this. I'm going to copy the list, Control C, and I'm going to paste this. Same thing, but here I'm going to change the type. If I put the additional attribute type A here, right? Additional attribute type A, and if I save and refresh, we will see now two lists. For the first one with the default values, when I put type A here, so it will actually change how it will actually order the item. So this time it uses uppercase letters, right? So the type can be changed, right? Let me put another one. Let me put we will have, let me put type. Now this time I'm going to put simply. So if I put OL type simply, so ordered list, but we are changing the type of the list. We put A. So if I refresh it now, I will have coding for 3 lists. First one, the default value, then we say type A, it will have uppercase letters. When you put simply, you will have simple letters. Okay. So if it is a Roman numerals, then you can have, I'm going to change this A to capital I. I'm going to use simple line. So these are for capital I, for uh, the Roman numerals. Roman numerals, the lowercase, we have simple line. So let me refresh now. You will see, right? List is with the now populate with the Roman numerals. Right? So the capital simple letters changes how it actually numbered using these Roman numerals. Okay, so the default one is 1, 2, 3, and then the type value will be 1. Okay, so with this one, we finish the discussion of ordered lists. We discussed the basics. Right. Now let's look at unordered lists. Right? Unordered list. Now only change from order list to unordered list, or in word we call bulleted list, is we use UL. So same thing can be used. Now let me delete everything. I'm going to start with the very old one. I'm going to put UL and end with UL. I'm going to save it, refresh it. Now you see yes, bullet list, right? Like what we did in ordered list, here also we can change. Change mean we can change the symbol. Now let's look at how to change the type. Okay, there are different types available, right? So you can have disk, you can have circle, and then you can have square, right? So let me talk about this now. Right? So type, I'm going to change it here. I'm going to say type. I'm going to say square. Save it. Let me refresh this. Now the symbol has changed to square. Then we can have circle. Let me change the type. Circle. Let me refresh it. You see the symbol has changed to circle. The default is disk. So you can type disk now. This is where we started. It's disk. So this is a default. So default means you don't need this. Right? That's the default. Okay. So I'm going to reiterate. Now the list. Now we have discussed so far ordered list. That means if you want to specify an order, you can start with OL, end with /OL. If you want to have an unordered list, then you start with UL and ends with /UL. Okay. So let me show you both at once. So I'm going to have two lists again just to show you like what we have. We have all. So first again here I'm going to create two lists. One is ordered list, the other one is unordered list. Let me refresh. Okay, so the two lists, the difference. We discuss how we can actually change these numbers or the symbols that we have already discussed. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the next one I want to discuss is list of lists. Right? We can incorporate list inside the another list. So that is possible. We call nested lists. Let's start. Now let me say we have something here. I am going to have ordered list. Right? So in this particular case, I'm going to see I'm going to change the items. I'm going to say I'm going to say the second item, and I'm going to say the third item. Right. Now let me say, right? Now in this particular case, if I refresh this, now you will see the two screens. Right. Now you will see the output. Let me say I have two types of ice creams, right? So what I could do is I can create a list within this ordered list. Let me show you. Now in this one, let me create another order. Let's say I'm going to have two types of ice creams. I have vanilla. So in this time, I'm going to have an unordered list within this. And this will create a list inside list, right? So inside this, I'm going to have, there are two types of ice cream available in this particular case. I'm going to say list item. We have vanilla. And another one is chocolate. So now we will see how this will appear in the output. Right. Now you will see what we have done is we put list within the list. The original list is a order list, and within that one we have two types. We put vanilla and chocolate. Now you can actually change. Now, for example, order list, let me say instead of 1, 2, 3, I need upper letters. So I can set type is capital. Now when I put this, refresh, you will see that it starts with A, B, C, and then we have vanilla and chocolate, right? That also, let me put as, you can change if you want. Let's say type, we can say square. Okay, so you can actually, change the list. Okay, the idea that we have discussed is how we make create list. Now we have discussed ordered list, unordered list, and nested list inside list. I hope that this, you understand this. Next, the last type we call definition lists. Right, let me show you. So in definition list, we are going to have DL. That DL represent definition list. So that means it's end with /DL. Right, so it's like this. So we are going to have definition lists. We start with DL and then we ends with DL. Right. So within this DL, we can have two other tags within this. Not like earlier, there's no list tags here. So you can have DT to say that data title, or then definition title, and also we can have definition data, right? Now for that, now for example, if I put this, we have within this one tag is DT. Now for example, you are going to talk about coffee. So now you have to explain what this coffee is about. So I can put DT. We can say it's a black hot drink. Let me save and let me show you how it appears in the browser. So it says coffee in one side, that is something you are going to define. Like in a dictionary, you have a term DT, and then its definition data is a little bit right hand side. So the coffee, we will say it's a black hot drink. So likewise, we can have DT milk, we can put milk, right? So I'm going to put another definition. So remember, you had to put two lines for one particular item. Let me refresh it. So we will have milk, and it's a white cold drink. Okay. So with this one, we finished discussing the three types of lists. We discuss ordered list, unordered lists, and also we discuss deficient lists. So I encourage you to use this in practice. Maybe you can put it into notepad, use your computer to try this. So try this out, otherwise you won't understand. So hopefully I'm going to start the next classes starting from July, if everything went smoothly. So until then, we will not be able to have practicals in the class, but as soon as we start, I'm going to plan the practical classes. Okay, so let's move on then. Right, the next one that I'm going to discuss today is how can we create links, combine two images or two images together. So what I'm going to do here is we can create to combine two links. We can combine, when you click it, it actually connects to the another connect to another page, right? So let's look at how we are going to do this. Let me start. Now we have couple of documents we have prepared. Let's say I have document number 1. This is the first one. This is the document number 2. Let's say I want to create a link in 1 so that when I click this, it will go to this second page, right? This is the first 1.html. This is 2.html. When I click 1.html, let's say I want to go to 2.html, right? So let me first open the document for 1.html. Go to open 1.html. So if you remember from last time, so this is the what we have, right? So I'm going to create a link, right? So let me put a link here. So in the start, so after the body, I'm going to create a link. So the creating a link start with the anchor keyword a and then slash a ends. Now in between we have to put whatever we want to show within the page. Like, so I'm going to say go to, I'm going to say something like this. I'm going to display go to second page. So hopefully when I save this and when I refresh this, hopefully it goes as go to second page. So let me put BR so that it will appear in the first slide. Let me refresh. No, it's not a clickable one because we have not specified where to go. Now to specify where you want to connect, we will say hyperreference, href. So we want to go to 2.html when you click on this. So I put this href2.html. What it means is when you click this go to second page, we want to go to the second page. Okay, now you will see here. Now when I click this, you can see, okay, it goes to the second page. I go back again, go to second page, appear the second page. Now let me do the same for the second page as well. Let me open. I'm going to open 2.html. This is the coding. And this is what we have in 2.html. Let me have the same to connect the first one. So like how we are going to do, we say a/a. I'm going to put br so that it will go to the next slide. Now here what we want to display is go to first page. I want to display this. And then within a, we will reference href to say where to go. I'm going to say 1.html, Control S. Now let me refresh it now. When I refresh this, now we will say this link. Okay, go to first page. Now we are in this 2.html. When you click it, we'll come to first page. So there's a link here. When you click it, you can go to first page, right? You will see that now we can actually create a clickable link. Okay, so I think now I hope it's clear how we are going to do this. Let me show you some little bit complex one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two files called cup.html, where I'm going to use, when you click a cup, it will go to within the cup we are going to have a teapot. When you click teapot, it will go to the teapot HTML, and then when you click the cup, it will go to the cup HTML. Now for that, I'm going to create two images. So let me take paint. Let me draw small cup. Right. So let me try this. I'm going to draw a cup. So I'm going to take pencil. I'm going to draw a small cup. So I'm not actually good artist, but I hope that this looks like a, oh, it's not. And then let's say this is a cup. Right. Let me now put some colors. I'm going to put some colors. Right. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this in the desktop. I'm going to say, okay, cup dot, yeah, it's a PNG file. Let me take another one, new. I'm going to create a teapot this time. Right. I know it's not look like a teapot, but you know. So let me paint this. I'm going to save this as teapot. Now I'm going to create two files, right? So let me start quickly. HTML, head, dash head. So I'm going to say title. This is the cup page. Let's say I'm going to talk something about the cup, right? Body, I'm going to say slash body. And then let's say I'm going to save this. Let me save file, save as, I'm going to save this as cup.html, right? So if I open this, double click it, so nothing in it. So I'm going to create a link now. You know what I'm going to do? I actually want to go to teapot. So let me create this teapot as well. So I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to change this to teapot. Save. I'm going to save this as teapot HTML. Now I have two files. Let me open teapot as well. So I have teapot here. Double click it. Now nothing is there. But I can put something there, right? I can say, okay, this is teapot page. Let me put BR. Now refresh it. It says teapot page. That's all. Now let's say I want to create a link to join to cup page. Let's say cup.html. So this link, we have to name it. I'm going to say go to cup. Let me save this. Refresh it. We have a link now. We have a link now. When you click it, it will go to cup page. But unfortunately, in cup page, we don't have many. So now I'm going to open cup page. So I'm going to pick cup page. And I'm going to include the same. This is the cup page. And I'm going to connect to let me save. Now when I refresh this, now you will see the both. So in the cup page, we have nothing, but there's a link to go to teapot page. When you click it, we go to teapot page, and there's a link cup page. That these two pages are linked. Now let's say I want, instead of this link, I want to have an image. Remember, we have created two images earlier. So let me put the image instead of this teapot. I'm going to say img src. I may create a teapot png file. Let me save this. Now if you go, now we have this. The size is bigger, so let me put width is 25% of the width. Now when I refresh it, you will see something like this. And now the image is linked. Remember, we have discussed this earlier, right? When you click it, you go to cup. Now we can change the cup page as well. Let me open it. Let me open it. So I'm going to open teapot right? Now here also we can change it to image. So let me put img src. I want to display a cup.png file. Let me save. Again, it's very big, so let me change the size. I'm going to say width equals to 25%. Wow, now we can see the images. We have created image link. When you click this image, it goes to cup page. When you click teapot image, go to the teapot page. So this is how we can actually link web pages. We will see this in when you visit the website, there are many links like this. So it's not that difficult. I show you like how you could actually do this with simple tools, right? Hari putih පුතාලට තේරුණාද මේ ටික? Hello? පුතාලට තේරුණාද අද මම කරපු ටික?
ඔව් සර්.
එතකොට අපි අද කතා කරේ පුතේ කොහොමද ලිස්ට් හදන්නේ කියන එක කතා කරා. ස්පේසිං ගැන කතා කළා මුල් කොටසේදී. අන්තිමට මම කතා කරා ලින්ක්ස් කියන ටික. එතකොට ලබන සතියෙන් අපි පාඩම ඉවර කරනවා පුතේ ටේබල්ස් උත් එක්ක. හරි? මම වීඩියෝස් ලින්ක්ස් දෙක දානවා සිංහල මීඩියම් එකයි ඉංග්‍රීසි මීඩියම් දෙකටම. නෝට් එකත් පුතේ මම පෝස්ට් කරන්නම් ඔයාලට. මොන හරි නොතේරෙන ඒවා තිබුණොත් පුතේ මට chat එකෙන් දාන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් WhatsApp කරන්න. අපහැදිලි තැන් තියෙනවනම් මේ ටික පුතේ try කරලා බලන්න. පුතාලගේ payments උත් පුතේ සමහර කට්ටිය මට එවලා තිබුණා මම ඒ හැමෝටම acknowledgement එක දුන්න. අනෙක් අය මොන හරි ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා පුතේ මට පණිවිඩයක් තියන්න. මම ඉන්ඩිවිජුවලි ඔයාලට මම මැසේජ් කරලා තියෙනවා account details ටික. හොඳයි පුතේ එහෙනම් අපි අදට නතර කරනවා මෙතනින්. ලබන සතියෙන් අපිට HTML ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන් බොහෝ විට